Welcome to Reboot Body AI.
Hey everyone, and welcome to your daily dose of biohacking and wellness info. We are, as always, proudly brought to you by Reboot Body. All right, today we're diving deep into something most of us deal with every single day, that invisible battle happening inside our minds every time we log on. We're going to break down the hidden psychology of our online lives, and trust me, some of this is going to be a real eye-opener. So, have you ever stopped to wonder about this? I mean, you've got those friends who share everything online, right? Every meal, every vacation, every random thought. And then you've got others who are, well, they're practically ghosts online. In this explainer, we are going to get to the bottom of what's really driving these two totally different approaches. Okay, before we jump in, we've got to do the important legal stuff. Just a heads up, the information we're sharing is for educational purposes only. It is not medical advice. This content isn't meant to diagnose, treat, or cure anything. So please, you absolutely must consult your doctor or a qualified healthcare professional before making any changes to your health routine. All right, first up, your brain on likes. We're talking the science of the scroll. To really get why we act the way we do online, we have to start with the biology. Let's look at what's actually going on inside your brain when you're scrolling through your feed. So, at the very heart of all this is your brain's reward system. Think of it like a control center. You've got these key parts, like the ventral tegmental area. We'll just call it the VTA. And it releases this feel-good chemical called dopamine whenever you do something pleasurable. It's basically your brain giving you a little gold star and saying, hey, that was awesome, let's do that again. And this is where it gets crazy. You know that little rush you get from a like on your post? Well, neurologically, it's almost identical to hitting the jackpot on a slot machine. No joke. Both are these unpredictable, positive rewards that fire off that same dopamine release. And that creates this incredibly powerful habit loop that just keeps us coming back for more, scrolling and sharing. Okay, so we've got the brain chemistry down. But that's not the whole story, right? Now let's look at the psychology behind why we post. Why do we feel this need to share our lives? So a huge meta-analysis gave us some really fascinating clues here. Now, some of it you might expect. Extroversion? Yeah, that has a positive link to sharing. Sociable people tend to post more. Makes sense. But here's where it gets interesting. Traits like agreeableness, conscientiousness, and even neuroticism, they all have negative correlations. So what does that mean? It means people who are more cooperative, more careful, or even more anxious actually tend to share less online. Kind of flips the script, doesn't it? But it goes even deeper than just our personality traits. We're also posting to fill some of our most basic human needs. You know, the stuff psychologist Abraham Maslow talked about. We share to feel that sense of love and belonging. We share to get that validation, that boost to our esteem from likes and comments. And we share to celebrate our big wins. A new job, a graduation, what he called self-actualization. All right, let's totally flip the script now and talk about the silent user strategy, the power of digital absence. What about all the people who don't post? I mean, research shows a massive number of users, sometimes up to 40%, are what they call lurkers. They're watching, they're consuming, but they rarely, if ever, post anything. And you know what? This isn't just random. It's a deliberate strategy. Yeah, it really boils down to two totally different motivations. Active posters, they're often there for the social connection. Their goal is to give information to get that support and connection back. But silent users, they're way more transactional. Their goal is to get information, whether it's news, product reviews, whatever, all without paying what they see as the psychological price of sharing their own lives. And this brings us to a really powerful way to think about this whole thing. Check out this quote. Their silence is not a passive void, but a proactive statement of psychological values. Wow, that just reframes the whole conversation, right? It's not that they don't care, it's an active choice, a choice that's deeply rooted in their personal values. And in fact, when you look closer, the traits of these silent users are actually massive psychological strengths. They tend to have really high autonomy. They're just not interested in playing the performance game online. They have strong boundaries, protecting their mental space, and, this is crucial, they get their motivation from within, which protects them from that wild dopamine roller coaster of needing likes and comments from everyone else. This leads us right into one of the biggest dangers of social media, and a key reason why those silent users are so protective. Let's talk about the upward comparison trap and the hidden cost of those perfect lives we see online. Look, we all know this deep down, but it's so important to say it out loud. Social media is not real life. It is a highlight reel. It's a collection of everyone else's best moments, all carefully edited and curated to look absolutely perfect. And what do? We compare our normal, messy, behind-the-scenes lives to their finished product. And that always takes a toll.
So how big of a toll are we talking about? Well, get this. A really fascinating study found that just by limiting social media use to 30 minutes a day, that's it, just 30 minutes, participants saw significant drops in both depression and anxiety. Just think about that for a second. Such a small, simple change, but with a massive, massive impact on your well-being.
And the consequences of being stuck in that comparison trap? They're serious, and they're well documented. We're talking about worsening depression and anxiety, plummeting self-esteem and life satisfaction, poor body image, and of course that constant fear of missing out, or FOMO. It tricks us into believing that literally everyone else is happier and more successful than we are. Okay, so what do we do with all this information? How do we fight back? In our final section, we're going to talk about rebooting for inner peace. It's all about building digital resilience. So the real end game here is something called existential well-being. That sounds a little academic, but what it really means is connecting to a sense of meaning and purpose in your actual life, totally separate from what other people think of you online. It's this foundational part of inner peace that so many silent users are already cultivating just by rejecting that whole digital performance. So we can actually take a page from their book and build our own roadmap to digital wellness. Step 1, reclaim your autonomy. You decide how and when you engage. It's your choice. Step 2, cultivate intrinsic value. Focus on what you achieve and who you are on the inside, not on external likes. Step 3, set strong boundaries. Protect your mind and your emotional space from all that digital noise. And finally, step 4, live in the moment. Fight that urge to document everything and instead just be present in your own life. And all of this really leaves us with one last big question to ask ourselves. Is your digital life a performance that you're putting on for an audience, or is it a tool that's actually serving your purpose? Just thinking about that question is a huge first step. And hey, if you feel a little more empowered after watching this, do us a favor and hit that like button. Or even better, subscribe to the Reboot Body channel right now. Because subscribing isn't just clicking a button, it's a commitment you're making to your own continuous optimization. You don't want to miss out on the tools we share every single week to help you optimize your biology. Thank you so much for watching. Now it's time to truly reboot body and aim for your peak performance.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.